So when thinking about going out on the boat, the number one thought or consideration that impacts my planning is, of course, weather. And thinking about the weather starts days in advance with the weather forecast. It starts with general weather reports on my phone and the local news. So when there's an anticipated, noticeable shift in the weather, like a spike in temperature, then that's usually indicative of a high pressure system coming in. Even if it's not, like this gradual increase in temperature during the week of April, the forecast still suggests it will be sunny and light winds. So to me, that says go out on the boat. And then as it gets closer to the day of the best weather, say maybe 2 or 3 days out, I start looking at the marine apps and the NOAA websites and stuff like that to find out what they're saying about winds, tides, and currents, things like Wind Finder or Venture Sky. There's other great websites that give a whole bunch of different information about the weather conditions. And then as it gets 1 or 2 days before the actual trip or the night before, I'll update my weather template with the current prediction of winds and get a nice idea as to what we're going to encounter the next day when we head out. Okay, so I've gone through the websites, I've collected the information. This is my cruising weather data sheet. Date, basic forecast, it's mostly sunny, breezy in the afternoon, high is 66. That's actually, right this minute, it's going to be a little higher. It says about 71 Alameda, and then 66 would be San Francisco, so somewhere around there. Mostly sunny, variable winds, 5 knots increasing throughout the afternoon. Now we have a weakening pressure system, so it's going to get a little bit windier, a little bit more cloudy later on as that comes in. But we're in the bay, there shouldn't be any problems. So recap of the winds, tides. Low tide was 8:51 this morning. High tide is at 4 p.m. So we're going to have a flooding tide. It's going to be a high of plus 5.3 feet when we come back somewhere in the afternoon. So current, it's going to be flooding tide, as I said. The current's going to be at most 2.9 knots at 1:19 p.m. So depending on where we are, we can use that to our advantage or not. Not so much into powerboat, doesn't matter, but sailboats, that would be a bigger deal. That's the weather briefing. We're all set for that. So, right now we're looking at the flag there, and we can see that the wind is coming from the south at this point. You can also look at the weather vanes on the sailboats, of course. And but we know from the prediction and also from daily routine, daily patterns, that it's going to flip. It'll come from the west later on. So that flag will be flying that direction when we come back this afternoon. Right now, it's a little after 11 a.m. Very calm. This light breeze, but it's really very, very easy going. We've got the wind coming from that direction, so we're thinking about, all right, what are we going to do with our bow lines when we get ready to go? We have the bow tied to the dock here. Then we got the spring line, which is keeping the boat from moving backwards. We have another spring line. This one, as you can see, it's not doing much, which is to keep it from drifting forward. And then the stern line. And we've got the same thing on the other side. Same setup. You can see that the boat is drifting over that direction, so that's really not doing much. So bow line wraps over to a spring line to the mid cleat. So she'll be taking this off first, doing the Lark's Heart head coil, and then we'll take the stern line off, and then she'll move to the starboard side and get those lines when we are ready to go. We got the shore power still on, We're gonna leave that on for just a second while we get everything settled. And then the next step in launching will be to drop the engine, start it, make sure it works. And this is all just prepping the boat. But we have to put everything in place first. I'll be there in a second.
All right, let's get the full raise then, dude man.
Here comes calling.
Here's what it says. It says, we discuss ways that Deanne can improve further by regularly taking time to step back from the focus on specific details of individual tasks and deadlines, and identify and work towards broader goals and responsibilities that include teamwork and relationship. Whatever, lady.
Come on. Go for a spin.
Oh, there you go.
Enjoy the day.
Beautiful.
Yeah. That's big. Hey. Right away.
Are you just trying to see? What's up? You good? Huh? You're gonna lick me to death. That's what you're gonna do with that back. Huh? Anybody think you're like 6 feet tall?
Yeah.
Use this big boy bark there.
Oh, be good. Huh? You good? Yeah.
Oh, that's a girl.
All right, life sling out. here's our binder with boat information. We got the Red Cross certification, towed, request to tow. Membership is up to date. I'm gonna take my checklist out and do the checklist. What else is in here? You know, we've got, this is just kind of a table of contents, but we have the evidence of property insurance. We have our documentation for the boat, which is up to date. This is just the application for the new documentation, MMSI number, which is for our radio. It's our personal ID number. Some information that was prepared by Club Nautique when they operated the boat, battery switches, just graphs to show you where things are. So it's just a general information book. But what I do is I fill out this, and I've done this before. This is just a checklist to remind myself to do everything. Disconnect shore power, engine lock, water coming out of the engine. That's what I just checked out there a second ago. As it was running, I'll take note of the fuel level, which is about 75% right now. Maybe a little bit more. I'll take note of the engine hours just so I can record how many we used today. I confirmed that the batteries were charging. I did the gear check, that's good. Bow thruster is working. I didn't test the windlass. I'm gonna go look at that in a second because we are probably gonna drop anchor. We're not sure what we're doing yet. We're gonna go to Angel Island. We might come back and drop anchor, I'm not sure. Navigation lights, these are things I need to check still. Everyone's got safety gears. Our throwable type 4, our ring is out there. Put the life sling out there. Distress lights available, emergency flag, that's all in the cabin. That's all good, I know that that's there. So that's the checklist to make sure we're all ready, compliant and ready to go. It says here, float plan filed. Not really, I didn't actually call somebody and tell them exactly what our plan is, what time we'll be back. Colin is there, I can mention that to him. So this is the whole thing, right? There's this Coast Guard, there's a cheat sheet for all of the signals here, all kinds of backup stuff. You know, for people to understand the VHF radio comms and things, just for guests. Why not have it? There's that, which I referred to earlier. And then there's this, which is the Coast Guard requirements. There's a checklist. It has when I need to re-inspect life slings and nav lights and all this. So it's there. Everything is about emergency situations. All right, we're at the point where we're going to be untying and preparing for departure. Removing the spring line. Why are we doing the port side first? Because we have it really doesn't matter, there's no wind, it's not doing anything. There is a tendency for the boat to drift towards the starboard side of the dock slip, and it's easier to board the boat from that one is the last thing to do, so get rid of all of this. We're clear. Undoing it from the cleat, and now doing the lark's head coil. Luckily our bow is kind of low and we're not that far from the dock, so she can do it here instead of going onto the boat and having to do it.
Oh, I didn't do it right because of the filming. Too much pressure.
Pressure.
And sometimes it's easier to do it like this. I don't know. Looks unprofessional, but then I can have my hands on both ends of the...
Okay. Now I'm gonna release the forward spring line and then do the same thing. Remove the stern lark's head coil again, and she'll loop it over that bimini support. Then all that's necessary is for her to do the bow line starboard side
And then the last thing, by that time I'll have the engine going and I'll have the bow thruster on so I can, you know, control the boat from moving around. Just come on and take this off and then off we go. So the depth finder is working. I should have actually just checked and taken a brush and maybe cleaned the transponder or transducer. I'm not sure if it's transducer or transponder, I can't remember. But if we look
there it is. Now it's actually not bad because just the other day I cleaned it. From the, you know, just basic algae that grows. But anyway, so that, you know, ensures that there's nothing obstructing the sonar signal. So it's working. That's the bow thruster I just put on. So anyway, it's registering. We're good to go for today. She's finishing the starboard side bow line. I'm here to control the boat from moving around anywhere too far back and, you know, bumping the dock in the back, because now that the spring line is gone, there's nothing stopping us from drifting backwards. We're off on the water. Henry's all good. Stay off the table.
Okay.
Radar is just chilling out, looking out the window. Very calm, no wind, calm seas. Winds will pick up a little bit later. I'll tell you what the app says right now, but there's a paddle boarder out there standing. We're just left the marina. We're at 2200 RPM, 6 knots, just taking it easy. I want to just let the engine warm up nicely, and then we're gonna get up on plane, open up the engine, get the bottom of the boat cleaned off from the little bits of algae. There's a bunch of fishermen and small boats out there, so I don't want to go near them. It is a weekday, which means that over there is the front end, Seaflame Lagoon. Got to make sure there's no ferries coming out of the channel here or going in from San Francisco. Looks clear now. I actually know the schedule because I take this to work, so I know that there's not one scheduled to be passing us right about now. It's 12:25 p.m. But you got to keep your eyes out because they store all the boats over there as well, so they could be heading out to go to a different location. A little hazy today. Not the brightest blue skies, but calm and warm. Having said that, there's the ferry. We just passed the entrance to Seaflame Lagoon, and there's the ferry going in.
Seal buddies. Hey buddies. Kind of chilling. A little bit on the ugly side as I see them. Hey guys. They may be sea lions. I always get that wrong. Okay. They're resting on this Angel Island dock. At Angel Island with our animals. They're very confused because they normally park back in the same spot at the marina, and now they're in a different spot. Quite upsetting news. Here's more upsetting news. Here's this sign which says no dogs on Angel Island ever. So right along with scooters, rollerblades, and skateboards.
Okay, buddy.
Just hanging out on the docks at Angel Island. There's a bunch of seals over there. Sending some aromas this direction.
That's really not ideal.
Not too bad though. But strong wind, stronger than forecast for this time. But it's Angel Island. It's always going to be like this. We're going to push off in a few minutes. We got a ferry docked right there. It's about to head to San Francisco. It's departing in about 10 minutes. As soon as it clears out, we will head out.
We just took the dogs to pee on the docks
On
since they're
the
not
docks.
allowed on the island. Mr. Brown said not a problem, and Mr. White said not for me, thanks. I'm gonna hold it.
Strong wind coming from that direction. You can see all the ripples go this way into this. Now here's the problem, we're there, so I'm backing out. Current's going this way, wind is going that way. I don't have a lot of space here. So we'll have to look at that. Right? Get out. Kind of forceful back, I think. And then quickly spin, because the further you go like this way, the shorter the distance is. There's some people checking out the seals. What are you guys doing? Do you have a permit? See, from this perspective, looking from the boat, you can see that we don't have a lot of space. Again, the wind coming from that direction, current also coming through because it's a rising tide, so it enters this cove and then kind of spins around the edges. So the current's going this way, the wind's going this way, we're backing out, and that's the wall right there. We don't have much space. So here's our boat, there's the wall, there's the wind. We're gonna have to be aggressive with that. Alternatively, I could kind of go out and then back all the way over there and then have a lot more room to then like spin around. You gotta do something? You gotta do something?
Yeah, we can pass them over and sit on the other side.
So that wasn't really a big deal, backing out. The current wind, we actually had a calm moment, and we just backed straight out, and I just turned and came out. We just left the slip just this minute. Dan's putting up the fenders, and we'll be on our way.
Good. We're all set.
We're back at Marina Isle Marina, and we're going to go straight to the fuel dock. Get about close to 30 gallons of fuel. It's been a few trips since we filled up. Actually calmer down here in this area than Angel Island. Still a bit of a breeze. Looking to see it's coming from the west, so it's kind of coming straight at us. But you can see it's not a huge factor. Coming back from Angel Island, there was a lot of chatter on the radio from the Coast Guard about a report of a person in the water under the west span of the Bay Bridge, the span that goes from Treasure Island to San Francisco, between towers Charlie and Delta, so closer to the Treasure Island bit of span. And a boat and a San Francisco police boat arrived on the scene, and I guess they found the person. There's not a lot of chatter about what the deal was, but I surmise it may have been a person who jumped off the bridge. It wasn't somebody who seemed to be calling for help. I think it was a body. We're on idle right now. I'm just using the bow thruster to keep us pressed against the pier here. All right.
A bit more.
Can you go on the inside of the pole?
I guess so.
Good.
Yeah, the radio's beeping on and it's gonna be.
in the, oh, I'll get it in a second. Here. I'll do sides again. Walk it back.
This. Are you mad? That puppy has a mad face.
Okay, come on. Now we're going to empty the black water tank, which is basically the sewer.
Don't cry.
Seems to be a part missing. Something missing.
It's the parking lot. Okay. I'm gonna have waste all over you. What about this part? I'm swerving like a weirdo.
I think it's clean.
Swerve through the video.
Anyway, I had to clamp this piece to it. Anyway, you just clamp it like that.
Yeah, right. Simple. It's gonna spray everywhere.
This is shut. Go ahead, put it on.
Put it on.
The green button.
It's on. Oh, that's pee. You can tell it's pee. It's all right.
Can you get the camera? Just maybe film this little bit.
Okay.
There's a window, and you can see it's coming through.
It's my pee.
If I were to shut it, see?
It doesn't like that over the pump. Been here for 16 minutes. It's incredible.
This one pretty full. All right, that's
Oh,
it.
Gross.
All right, you can shut the button off. And that's a wrap for the trip for today. We're back on our home dock. And one of the other things to consider is the beer and wine that you have to have sitting after you've tied up. I flushed the engine with water. I hosed down most of the boat, not the cockpit back here.
Tied up the spring lines into the curtains. That's my job.
Yep, so it's all closed up inside. Sun's not beating inside the thing, getting all hot. So,
I would also add that it was shockingly warmer over in the East Bay compared to Angel Island. It's like super sunny over here. It's always better in the slip in some ways.
see, we have a nice, very, very light breeze, but it's warm out. You can actually see nice blue sky. It's always nicer at the marina